Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in. I am your host, Noli, and I'm really excited to be here today, dropping my very first video here on my very own channel. Going to be a series of best bets for the day here for the MLB, and who knows, maybe we get into other stuff going down the future, but for now, we're going to be talking MLB. And I do have other bets that I do bet that are available for my clients, so if you are interested, send me a message and maybe we'll get you on the team. But for now, we're going to be getting into my game of the day today. That's going to be the Houston Astros on the road to face the Kansas City Royals. You see the line there, Houston Astros minus 135, Royals plus 115. Over under 8.5. And I saw the number climb up to 9 and then went back down to 8.5. So you might get maybe even money on the 8.5 under and minus 120 on the over. So depending on what book you have there. But we'll get into the game. We got Urquidy on the mound for the Houston Astros with a 4.80 ERA, 1.58 whip. And there's no secret about this guy and his inabilities to pitch on the road. He has shown it last year. He's shown it again this year with a 7 ERA on the road this year. When I look at his numbers, he had 2 really bad starts on the road against Seattle 2 times. So a tough team to go against for him, a team that's in his division. But here he's going outside of his division, going against the Kansas City Royals team that is 2-10 their last 12 games, averaging just 3.7 runs per game over the last 7 games. And for Jose Urquidy, what I've noticed over the course of his last 3 seasons, after he's given up 4 runs or more, he comes back and actually has a really good game. In all those starts after that, he has given you a quality start. In 7 out of 8, he has given up 2 runs or less in those starts. So a guy that has shown to be resilient and has shown capable of pitching on the road, just not consistently. So I expect him to be able to bounce back against this Kansas City Royals team, who's going to have a tough task going against him, and then also a tough bullpen. A bullpen with the Astros that's given up a 2.43 ERA and just a 1.1 whip. So I think that's a tough ask for these bats. I think the Astros are going to be able to control them. For the other side, Kansas City Royals, you got Brady Singer, a guy that's got pretty good numbers here on the year, 2.49 ERA, 0.99 whip. But early in the season, he had some troubles with actually sent to the bullpen and then sent to the minor leagues, where he had to work on some things. Where he changed up his grip and changed his pitching repertoire a little bit. And Matheny talked about it in his first start back. He looked like a different pitcher. He had to come back and show something, and that he did. And that's what I like to see, a little bit more resilience on this side as well. When we talk about his pitching repertoire, it's the use of his changeup. He's no longer being just a 2-pitch guy, using a fastball slider and occasionally a changeup. Last year, out of almost 2,300 pitches, he threw his changeup just 88 times, good for 3.8%. Not going to get it done. This year, he's already thrown the pitch 41 times. He's thrown it 10.8% of the time. But mind you, before the last time against Minnesota, he was throwing it 17% of the time. He took back a little bit of those pitches, didn't want to throw it as much because he was seeing Minnesota on back-to-back days. But just the threat of the pitch made him a lot more deadly out there, and he was able to record 8 strikeouts, a career high. So I expect Brady Singer to come in here and be able to control these bats, because that's what he's done against these Houston Astros. He pitched twice against them last year, pitched well against them. In 34 at-bats, he's only given up 6 hits, all base hits, and struck out 10 batters. So he's got more strikeouts than hits allowed against this team, and I'd expect him to continue that success because they really aren't hitting right now. The Houston Astros over the last 7 games are hitting just 224, with the 224 only producing 2.6 runs per game. In that span, the under has hit 6 times out of 7. The last one went over by 1 in the 9th inning. I'm kind of torn about that. I had the under, but I also had the guy, Jordan, to have over 1.5 total bases. So I cashed one and then lost one. So I don't know how I felt about that one, but I still think it was a good bet, and I think it's a good bet here today. Overall, on the season, these Houston Astros are 74.5% to the under, 38-13. So I'm going to take a shot here for my best bet of the day, under 8.5. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and be ready for plenty more.